According to the type of human mind, God will be defined. Man makes God in his own image. The God of the fundamentalist believer is a lot different from how Buckminster Fuller defined God. God is energy of differing magnitudes. When we deal with an energy far beyond our ken, we tend to glorify it by calling it God. I am a monotheist polytheist. There are many gods, and there's only one. God, in its purest sense, is the absolute deity, as Blavatsky calls it, or simply the absolute. In my book, Infinitization of Selfhood, I gave 241 names for the nameless or God, which of course is a terrible paradox and contradiction. So God is the supreme beingness, the supreme being. God is the absolutely infinite, that beyond which none greater can exist. It's the always more, just the way the infinitesimal is the always less. It's the infinity of infinities. But when the ray of the absolute flashes forth at the dawn of every universe, God, the absoluteness, becomes a singularity, a one. God is the zero and God is the one. The one is infinitely less than the zero. When we talk about God, we mean our planetary logos. That's who Jesus or the Christ prayed to, the planetary logos. A very minor being along the emanative stream. But as far as we're concerned, that might as well be God. According to the plan of our planetary logos, God, our planetary logos, so we must conform. So we must obey, so we must fulfill. It is the purpose of our God, the planetary logos, to increase the light in his manifestation, and we are all part of building that lighted station. He has a purpose, we conform. But every planet has a logos or a God. Every solar system or sun has a logos or a God. Every cluster of stars, every constellation, if authentic, has its own logos or God. Every galaxy, its own. Every family of galaxies, its own. Until we reach the one and only God for this universe, the universal logos, and every being is that God in a state of forgetfulness. So, heretical though it may seem, every one of us is God. Not in full realization, but on the highest planes of cosmos, we are God, the one supreme universal power. And that God is a dwarf, is an infinitesimality when compared to the one and only absolute infinity of all infinities, the absolute deity, the only true God. All other gods, even the God of a universe, is an infinitesimalization of that one absolute, because the distance between 1 and 0 is infinite. Every unit, no matter how big, is always ultimately tiny from a certain perspective when compared to the infinity of all infinities. So, God that we cannot pray to, we can only be it, is the absolute deity. And the gods to whom we can pray, our solar angel, the God of our planet, one day the God of our solar system, ever higher are the range of glorious beings of ever larger scope, and every one of them is a God in the one and only God as the one and only God. But let's be practical. If we want to fulfill a purpose, it better be a purpose we can fulfill. And that has to do with fulfilling the purpose of our proximate deity, our proximate God. It might as well at first be our solar angel. Let's fulfill that plan and work our way towards fulfilling the will of the hierarchy, a God in a sense, finally to Sanat Kumara and beyond. That we can handle in time. When we talk about the Universal One, well, we'll get there, and we already are there.